What is up, woke family? It's your boy Wokey Bucks, and I'm back again with another live stream. My apologies, guys. I'm telling you, the Wi-Fi's just been acting up, but yeah, I think I got it good to go now. We're gonna test it out. You feel what I'm saying? But yeah, we're basically gonna get into this video once and for all. You feel what I'm saying? Instagram model, famous Instagram model, basically murders her mother. She basically stabs her to death, and she cuts out her heart out of her chest while she's sleeping, right? Or still alive, you feel what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna get into this video and I'll give y'all my thoughts on it. So let's get into it, man.
In the city of Komrat, Moldova, 21-year-old medical student Anna Lajkovic had ambitions of becoming Moldova's next biggest influencer. At her peak, she had gained 10,000 followers over on Instagram. Technically, it was 15,000, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. On Instagram, she posted bikini shots by the pool, was spotted outside of high-end fashion stores, and even travelled across the world, showing her followers how great her life was. But if it's one thing about Instagram or social media in general, and by now it really has become the norm, is that Instagram isn't real life. And although some people do portray a happy life on social media, deep down inside, they're not that happy at all.
Big facts, brother. And I'm gonna touch upon this, right? Because we've talked about this before here on the Woke Family, you know what I'm saying? What we have to understand, guys, is that a lot of people are not really living lives in which they're portraying on Instagram and social media. Let me repeat that again. A lot of people are not living lives in which they're promoting on social media and Instagram. What do I mean by that? Majority of people who post on Instagram, especially when it comes to living this lavish lifestyle, are not really living like that. They're not living like that. Social media, especially Instagram, it is the metaverse. When people are not living that type of lifestyle, you have to really be able to read into things like that and be able to see the truth the way it is. But unfortunately, a lot of people in our society are not woke enough to be able to see the truth. When you see that somebody's not living that lifestyle, you got to really be able to see the difference, right? Especially if you have communication or some type of contact with that person, you got to be able to ask yourself, you know what, does this person dress in the way that they dress on Instagram? Are they driving those flashy cars? Are they wearing the chain, right? Are they traveling as much as they're traveling to those places seriously? Or is somebody really funding that lifestyle? Whether it be a man or a woman, even though more likely than not, a woman is having that lifestyle funded, no matter if she tries to come across as strong and independent, right? We got to be able to see the difference between the two. But let's continue.
Away from the internet. Again, this doesn't categorize everyone, but it has been a reoccurring theme over the past 10 years or so. And Anna, well, she didn't necessarily fall into that category for the most part. She lived a good life. Again, she was a medical student and was said to have had a good relationship with her family members and her boyfriend. She lived at home with her 40-year-old mother, Praskovia Lajkovic, and their relationship was described as a loving one. Praskovia trying to spend as much time with her daughter as she could. This was all about to change, though, in December of 2020. According to some local reports, who I assume picked up on police reports, they claimed that at some point towards the end of 2020, Praskovia had become suspicious that Anna had started to take drugs. You see, in November of 2020, an ambulance was called to the family home.
Let's stop right there. So you already know on this channel we speak the truth, you know what I'm saying? We break everything down bit by bit and we try to educate ourselves. This is just an unfortunate situation in which we're listening to right now, but the reality of the situation is that the ambulance would have never had to been called to the woman's home if the family members were taking good care of her, if the family members were tapping in with her, if the family members were checking in with her. Because the unfortunate reality is that a lot of people in this world, and I'm going to say this again, right? A lot of people in this world are suffering in silence. You might not know what that person is going through mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, right? Financially, right? You don't know. So don't just assume that because you live with somebody in the household that you know what that person is going through. You have to tap in from time to time, because if you tap in with that person, then especially if you and that person are close, they're going to give you more of an idea of what they're actually going through. And once you have an idea of what they're going through, then from there, it's up to you to make a decision to see if you can really be able to help that person and transform their life, right? Because the reality of the situation is that she called the ambulance to be able to save her daughter, yes, but do you think she would have had to call the ambulance if she was tapping in with her daughter, knowing if she was going to where she was supposed to be going to, or what type of drugs she was taking, or why she was taking drugs? Little questions like this are the questions we got to ask ourselves as woke members of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? To be able to see the truth. But yeah, let's get back into it, man.
After Anna had overdosed on drugs, her grandma adding she didn't obey anyone and led a lifestyle abusing drugs and alcohol. I do believe in November of 2020, though, Praskovia had
What her grandmother should have asked is what caused her to do that and gotten to the bottom of it so you can really be able to help her if you're trying to help her instead of judging her. What a lot of people tend to do in this society is they like to judge without really understanding why somebody does what they do.
been working away in Germany, and upon arriving back to the family home in December of 2020, it's thought that she arranged for Anna to go to a rehab facility centre pretty much straight away. But reports claim that Anna had flipped out. She became very angry at the fact that her mum had arranged for her to go to rehab. Police believe this argument led to Anna arming herself with a knife, where she launched a ferocious attack on her own mother. But this wasn't just an ordinary knife attack, as bizarre as that sounds. This was 10 times more gruesome than anyone could ever imagine. Anna had stabbed her mother multiple times, leaving her for dead, but by the time she had finished the initial attack, believe it or not, Praskovia was still alive. From here, she then proceeded to cut her own mother's heart out and gouged out other internal organs, including her lungs and intestines. Talking of the
That's crazy. That's actually insane, right? Like I said again, we're living in a very, very demonic world where demonic things happen. Do you think, and I'm not gonna make it seem like our mother didn't make an effort to be able to try to resuscitate the situation by sending her to rehab, but if you had known previously, it wouldn't have had to get to a situation where you had to send her to prehab. If you had a closer relationship with her, if you tried to get inside, I'm pretty sure she would have tried to at least help you. But more likely than not, she was suffering in silence for years. Then she turned to drugs to be able to help her ease the pain, right? Just like you see a lot of rappers here in the States. What do they do to be able to ease their pain? They turn to drugs, right? Whether it's Molly, whether it's Angel Dust. But why do they do those things? Because they're going through a lot of issues. Now, am I saying it's okay? Hell no. We all know it's not okay. The only person who's really going to be able to help you deal with issues like this is Jesus Christ. When you need Jesus, you have to consult Jesus. You have to consult God to be able to get through your issues. Because the problem is that a lot of people do not healthfully know how to be able to deal with their issues, bro. Now, let's be real. You might not always have somebody to talk to. You feel what I'm saying? But if you don't have somebody to talk to, you have to either write it down in a diary, or if you can't write it down in a diary, walk and talk to yourself. A lot of people try to call you weird if you talk. You're not weird if you talk. Everybody talks to themselves, bro. Everybody talks to themselves. Now, don't try to make it a course of habit from time to time, but you got to find a way to be able to ease that pain. If you have to work out, work out. Let go of all that energy, especially a lot of that negative energy, right? Put that into a business. Put that into making videos, right? There are so many different things in which you can do to be able to let go of that negative and demonic energy that you're facing on a day-to-day basis, but people choose to do these things, bro. And then when negative things happen, they see why. Let's continue, man.
incident, police would go on to say it's hard to believe, but she cut out the heart in the most literal sense of the word. After the killing, police say that Anna took a shower to wash off the blood, then went to a boyfriend's house to drink champagne.
Oh,
I
nah.
guess in a
Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Oh, nah. Nah, bro. Nah, bro. As unfortunate as it is for me to say this is the reality. You see what we just witnessed here? This was a demonic attack. Now, am I saying that the Instagram model didn't do it by herself? 100%. It was Satan and his demonic forces that went into her spirit and forced her to do these things. Because I don't know how somebody who's mentally okay, who's spiritually okay, who's emotionally okay, can take out their own mother, shower, and go to her boyfriend's house and go drink wine. You have to be going through some sort of emotional, spiritual, and mental problems. But like I said, that exactly goes to prove my point, right? She was suffering in silence this whole time, and nobody checked up on her until they seen her doing drugs. Let's continue, bro.
Sense to maybe celebrate what had just happened. Her boyfriend was none the wiser as to what had happened though, because after the couple had drank, Anna told him what she had done. But when he quizzed her further, she refused to answer any questions. Shocked by her confession, he waited for her to fall asleep and then went to a house to check to see if her mother was dead and she had stabbed her. Once stumbling across the crime scene, he went straight to the police and reported her. She was subsequently charged in relation to the murder investigation and appeared before a court.
I'll keep it a buck. Her boyfriend did the right thing, 100%, because this is the thing you have to understand. He could have done one thing or another. He could have either figured out that she was telling the truth and became a fugitive just like her, but he decided to make the wise decision in which God appointed him for, which is to tell on her. Now, I'm not a proponent of snitching, but if it's to save your behind, do it. Why? Because let's be real. What did she do? She murdered her mom. After she murdered her mom, she went to his house. Now, if he didn't go tell on her, he would have been an accomplice. Now he would have lost his life for her. And who's to know what the consequence could have been? It could have been an execution through electric chair, right? It could have been, you know what I'm saying? So many negative things. I wouldn't want that on my head either. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel where he's coming from, bro, and that's facts. Hold on one second, guys. I don't know what's going
House to
on. Okay.
He went straight to investigation and appeared before a court.
Oh nah. Why'd she get up like that? That's different.
Вы не понимаете, что вы сделали?
Laughing? What did I say? What do I keep saying? I'm telling you, she's not in the right mental place, bro. She's not in the right spiritual place. She's being used by Satan in order to be able to accomplish demonic goals. Now, obviously, I feel bad for the spirit of her mother. You don't know how the spirit of her mother is going to eventually end up coming back to haunt her soul. And I'm talking about her daughter's soul. Because you might still be alive, but you have to understand when you do certain things like this, you end up suffering through spiritual intervention, and God might allow for certain things like this to happen. So you really don't know, man, and it's just unfortunate that we're literally witnessing a situation like this, right? Let's get back into the video.
Вы почему убили свою маму? Вы убили свою маму?
Вы сожалеете о том, что вы сделали?
In court, she was depicted cleaning her nails in the dark. Then when the judge entered the courtroom, she stood up on the bench. When a journalist asked her whether she killed and mutilated her own mother, she laughed and replied, "Goodbye." But this was all back in December of 2020, near enough a year ago now. I'm recording this video in December of 2021. So the reason this story is in the news once again is because she's actually been sentenced to serve time in a psychiatric hospital. In a recent court hearing, the forensic psychiatric examiner said of Anna, quote, "She was not able to correctly perceive the circumstances that are important for the criminal case and was unable to testify in the case. As a result of the medical finding as to her mental state, she was committed to a mental institution after the court accepted that while she had carried out the crime, she was not criminally responsible for her actions."
What do you mean by she wasn't criminally responsible for her actions? Because you think that she's not mentally well? That's why she's not criminally responsible? No, you better hold her accountable. She definitely is responsible. Now, am I supporting the situation in which I'm saying that, like, for example, she wasn't in a right mental spot? No, but it's like, bro, she definitely murdered her mother. She stabbed her mother to death, and then like, bro. And then when the reporter asked her, bro, she laughed. That is a very, very big red flag, my G. And if you're not woke enough to be able to see that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm telling y'all again, bro. We are living in a demonic world, bro, where demonic activities are happening daily. We have to be woke enough to be able to see the truth and move accordingly, bro. Or else, God forbid, something like this might happen to one of us. God forbid again, right? We gotta really be able to see the situation for the way it is and move accordingly. And that's just facts. Let's continue, man.
But even until now, we still don't really know what the exact motive was, other than that vague report of an argument breaking out over sending Anna to rehab. Even if that is the exact motive, I still think it's pretty wild that a daughter went on to stab her own mother to death and then cut her heart out over quite literally being sent to rehab. Did the drugs consume her life that much she couldn't even stand the thought of going to rehab? Maybe so. Or did Anna have some kind of underlying mental health issues and the drug use brought them to light? Because committing such a gruesome act on a family member is the only suggestion I can think of. At the end of the day, if the state has sent her to a mental facility for her to serve her time there, even though we don't have in-depth reports about her mental state, if you do put two and two together, there's most definitely been some kind of diagnosis. Now, remember at the start of the video where I said her peak following was 10,000, but technically it was 15,000? Well, believe it or not, after she was in the news for this whole situation, she had gained an extra 5,000 followers in the space of an extremely short amount of time. Now, I can't give you an exact date, but her Instagram has since been deleted, and rightly so.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just very, very unfortunate, right? It's just very, very unfortunate that we witnessed the murder of her mother in the situation. But like I said, the reality of the situation is that she was going through some sort of spiritual weakness, mental weakness, right? And obviously she was used by Satan and his demonic forces to be able to murder her mother. Obviously because she didn't like the situation, but even with that being said, it could have been handled a different way. We all know that. But all we can do is pray that things get better. If you understand, it's because you're woke. If you don't understand, unfortunately, my brother and my sister, you're not woke. This is going to be in this live stream. If you like this live stream, make sure you go spam that like button, leave comments, share this live stream with your friends, subscribe to the channel at Woke Ebucks, WOKEEBUKS. Tap the notification bell to get all the latest videos that I post. Patreon link will be down in the description below, and so will social media links. So make sure you go give those a check. But without further ado, this is going to be in this live stream. This is Woke Ebucks, and I'm out, man.